Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this because today we're going to explore a really profound philosophy, and we're going to do it by dropping you straight into a super relatable and honestly kind of uncomfortable everyday professional scenario. We're unpacking a concept called the architecture of the present second, and we're going to see exactly how it plays out in the real world. So, picture this. You're sitting in one of those late afternoon meetings, or maybe a group project session. A colleague presents an idea. And, they've clearly worked incredibly hard on it. But suddenly, a more dominant personality in the room just completely shuts it down. Maybe they even make a little dismissive joke. And instantly, the room goes dead silent. You know the feeling, right? Everyone is suddenly just fascinated by their laptop, staring intensely at their notes. And you are right there, sitting in the hot seat. This scenario brilliantly illustrates just how fast a moment actually dies. Think about it. At 3:45, the idea is out there. At 3:46, boom, the harsh dismissal happens. And at 3:46 and exactly 1 second, there is this heavy, palpable silence. That one specific second, that's your moment of decision. It's this tiny little window, almost invisible, but it carries an immense amount of weight. Section 1, Silent Office Conflict. Choosing care. Because in that exact tense second of silence, there is a massive internal battle kicking off inside your head. You're suddenly facing this immediate, really visceral choice between comfort and care. On one side, you've got the easy path, right? Staying silent. It's comfortable. If you ignore what just happened, nothing dramatic goes down, the meeting just awkwardly moves on. But on the other side, you have care, actually speaking up to support your deflated coworker. And let's be real, that's the much harder choice, and it is absolutely fraught with friction. And what keeps us stuck in that comfort zone is what the source material calls subtle fear. Now, this isn't the fear of physical danger, it's the paralyzing fear of social friction. Your brain just starts racing. Oh man, will I look like I'm attacking the leader? Or maybe I should just talk to them privately later? Or simply, this is going to be so awkward. That subtle fear is exactly what dictates our silence. Section 2, Anatomy of a Second. Structure of time. Okay, let's hit pause on our narrative in the meeting room for a bit. To understand why this scene feels so incredibly heavy, we need to look at our core source text, and it makes this really demanding claim. Each second is a complete unit of life. Just think about that for a moment. It isn't just saying time is valuable, like some worn-out cliché. It's literal. We don't actually live in years, or months, or even days. We live in individual, incredibly weighty moments. The really crucial point here is this. The past is completely gone. It's done. And the future? That's entirely uncertain. The specific second you are currently in, like sitting in that meeting chair, is the absolute only place where you possess the actual power to act. If each second is all you truly possess, then, well, each one carries full weight. Because of that reality, there are certain opportunities that literally live or die in a single second. It's the apology you're delaying, the decision you're afraid to make, or, connecting this right back to our meeting, the help you are hesitant to give. If you wait until the meeting ends to comfort your colleague, the public sting of that dismissal, it remains unaddressed forever. That very specific opportunity to provide help, in that specific moment, is completely gone. Section 3, Illusion of Timing, No Perfect Time. Let's address that little voice in your head from earlier, the one that said, you know what, maybe I should just talk to them privately later. Our source text actually completely dismantles this counter-argument. It tells us that waiting for a quote-unquote perfect time is totally irrational. Why? Well, because as we just established, the present second is all you actually possess. There is no better moment coming, only more seconds exactly like this one. So delaying action and waiting for a less awkward moment, it's just a logical fallacy. Which brings us to this absolutely heavy-hitting quote from the source. This is that 1 second to be fearless. Let that sink in for a bit. It shifts the focus entirely from just being, aware of the passage of time to this quiet, urgent push for action. You literally cannot postpone the way you want to live. But hold on, we kind of need to redefine what that word actually means here. Fearlessness is simply stripping fear of its authority to decide your actions. It doesn't mean you suddenly feel zero fear. Honestly, you can still be super nervous sitting in that meeting room. Your heart might be beating out of your chest. Being fearless simply means you don't let that subtle fear of awkwardness dictate your silence. The fear definitely still exists, for sure, but it loses its authority over you. Section 4, Fearless Action, Real-Time Courage. So let's unpause time, head back into that tense meeting room, and see exactly what this looks like in reality. It looks exactly like this. You choose to act and you simply say, actually, I think they had a really good point about the first half of that proposal. Could we look at that part again? That's it. That is the whole shebang. True fearlessness in everyday life isn't about jumping out of airplanes or being intensely confrontational. It's just choosing connection over comfort in a really quiet moment. Let's see how this builds into a simple framework. Step 1, you noticed the unfairness. Step 2, you felt the hesitation, right? That subtle fear. But step 3, you acted anyway. By executing this little micro action, you successfully turned simple awareness into a really meaningful intervention. You didn't just let the second pass by, you actually used it. Section 5, Shaping Character, Who You Become. This brings us to the deeper twist of this entire explainer. Because according to our sources, speaking up in that meeting wasn't just about defending your coworker. It was actually about who you were actively becoming second by second. We all tend to think our lives and our characters are shaped by these huge, dramatic events and massive milestones. But the truth? Your character is shaped by these tiny, almost forgettable seconds where literally no one is watching and where it would be infinitely easier to just not act. The benefits of taking action despite your hesitation, they constantly compound. Every single time you refuse to stay silent, every time you choose care over comfort, you are actively building a version of yourself that is more present, highly intentional, and fundamentally less controlled by fear. You are stripping fear of its power to decide your future. Ultimately, life isn't just this long stretch of time to be managed later on. It is a continuous stream of single moments where you either show up or you don't. So, knowing that your character is being built right now, in the present moment, what are you going to do with your next second?